What's up, guys? What's up, everybody who's watching this video? Girls, guys, whatever you are, whatever gender you consider of yourself, just I'm saying big hello to you. So, in today's video, I'm going to analyze the article that CNN published on the 15th on December, where the redactors, where the creators, the writers of this article told us, told to the whole world about the demographical situation in South Korea. So as we all know, like the world population is shrinking, and in terms of uh, birth rate, yeah, fertility rates. So every year the fertility rate declines, like by maybe by little percent, but it declines. And at some point of our life, maybe I won't see it. Maybe yeah, for sure, my children will see it. My children are going, my kids are going to see it. Maybe at some point of, and not maybe, definitely at some point of our history, there will be a time when the human population not only won't grow, but it will be declining. So yeah. So and at some, like in the modern world, after the industrialization and some other stuff, like after, like even I'm not a racist, right? But even like LGBT community and some newly newly things are changing the birth rates, the fertility rate all over the world. Like gay people don't give birth to children. So I mean, they don't give birth. So yeah, if there will be, and every year the amount. Oh, bro, like I'm sounding racist, but I'm not a racist guy. Okay, it's just facts. Okay, every year when there's a, and every year the amount of gay people are increasing, and gay people don't give birth. Like they only can adopt like someone, but they don't do anything to the world in terms of like increasing fertility rate. So they're only declining it. So I mean, yeah, and I want to talk about South Korea. South Korea is a very developed country, and we know South Korea of like devices like Samsung, or like even I have Samsung. Even I, like at that very moment, I'm recording this video on my Samsung device, and that's pretty interesting. And and we all know Korea for its, as I said before, technological advantages, technological like I mean improvement and some other stuff, and like but also we know it because of its cultural influence all over the world, like K-pop groups, doramas, and even the freaking Squid Game, which was released like 2 years ago, is also influencing the world even nowadays. So yeah, but the thing is, it won't it won't last long. Even if Korean government, if the Korean government won't do anything, like their like magic won't last long. I mean, even nowadays, their average age of a human is 45 45 years old. Like average Korean ages who lives in Korea ages like 45 years of age, and that's very high. And I mean, it's significant. It's like 45. It's really, it's too high. And the birth rate is there, the birth rate is there, is not only, is not is not only like over two and one per woman. Like average woman should every, if you want to, if you're if you're a president of your country, and if you want your country grow to grow by itself, to grow its population by itself without like immigration or some others, without migration or immigration or some other stuff, average fertility rate in our country should be 2 and 1 or higher, right? So but not only in Korea, it's not two and one or higher, but it's even lower, and it's even lower than one. So I mean that's crazy when you think about it. Like the fertility rate is there is like 0.80. What? That's nothing. That's nothing. There's so many. There's so many women there who didn't give a birth even even a single even who didn't even give a birth even to a single child, like even once. So I mean it's crazy to think about it. Like I live in Kazakhstan, and average like and average fertility rate here is like three three kids per woman, and like in my family we have three kids maybe, and I'm planning to have as many kids as my and I'm planning my wife to. I don't have a girlfriend, but in my dream I want to have like three kids, right, or four or five. That would be the number. Five is so good for me. And I mean, and we and like and we take about and I'm Asian, all right. I'm not African. Like fertility rate in Africa is high, is very high, is too high, and like average fertility rate in Nigeria is like eight kids, eight kids per woman. So yeah, but I'm Asian, and Kazakhstan fertility rate is three and higher, three kids per woman and higher. And we take an example of Korea, which is also located in Asia. Fertility rate there is 0.80. But I mean, in Korea they live, they have a better condition of life, and I mean that's the reason why they have better environment, they have better education, everything there is better, right? And generally, like than in Kazakhstan or in Nigeria or in India, whatever. But uh, the thing is, I think that's the main reason why fertility rate there is declining every year, and it will be declining if I mean if they don't, if the Korean government doesn't let the migrants f- enter their country more easily, I guess. I mean, so yeah, and I mean the reason why it's declining is because the the conditions of life are increasing, and etc. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good in terms of like the first generation, when it's good when the first generation is facing it, but it's not so good when the second or the third generation is facing like the the fruits of industrial revolution. Like I mean, the second and the third generation in that kind of case are are not going to give so not going to give as many births as their previous generation gave them. So I mean, yeah, and that's pretty. And I mean, the only like there were so many reforms in South Korea. Like they did, uh, they increased the mother capital. They increased the mother bank or something. So when a woman gives a birth to a child, she gets some kind of some sort of money and like some other benefits of giving a birth. But it didn't work out. It didn't work out, and it doesn't work at all. So Japan did the same thing, nothing. Korea did the same thing, nothing. Singapore did the same thing, nothing. Like, and the only way to live, and the only way to kill this problem is to let immigrants to live there, is to make easier, like to make migration progress easier in South Korea, like Germans did or French people did. Like I mean, the same thing would happen in Europe, but we don't see it because there's so many migrants in Europe that are fixing all this problem, and we would think we would face the same problem in the US or in Canada or in other developed countries, but but they don't follow the rules that Korea or Singapore or Japan are following. They they just they have their own like unique policy, and they just, I mean, the rest of the world countries are pretty smart, okay, and they led and they know that migration force and and like they know that cultural culture cultural I mean cultural foundation of a country is very important, but it's not so important when your country is shrinking and there's so many old people in your country, elderly people who can't even move themselves, and your economy is shrinking. That they know they understand that even though cultural stuff is great, but but the modern world is so competitive that even if we will be yeah, but that even if we will be like late for 1 year, will be eaten by other countries. So that's the main reason why they let immigrants enter their country easier than the Japanese or the Korean or the Singaporean governments do. So I mean, yeah, and I want to laugh at people who are studying Korean. That's a great language, but bro, like, what's the reason? What's the reason of learning this kind of language? Like, yeah, I know that you love K-pop, but you should learn Japanese. Japanese is more important. Japanese is way more useful for you than Korean, and I mean, and even though both of the population of these countries are shrinking, Japanese population will and still was, is, and will be the the biggest population in the like Southeast Asia. So no, actually, I said that right. Okay, the population of Japan will be above of the population of Korea. So I mean, you should you should study freaking Japanese, because even though like Korean is very hard, and if you don't live in Korea and you don't speak to a native speaker daily, probably it will take it will take you 7 years to be fluent at that hard language. And by the time when you learn it and when you move there, you understand that you don't want to talk. You want you do and you understand that, yeah, I want to talk to young Korean girls who think songs and play music and just dance, and like they have their local K-pop group or something. But when you come there, you see freaking old people working and doing absolutely nothing. And I mean, it's a harsh reality, and you need to face it. So the most influential language on this planet is English. So I have one advice, and only one advice: learn a freaking language, learn freaking English. You know it, alright. There are so many ways to improve your vocabulary in English. English is the best language of this planet. So don't focus on freaking Japanese. Okay, Japanese is Giga Chat language, so you can learn it. Okay, I let you learn it. But don't focus on freaking Korean. It's dying language. The population of Korea is shrinking, and in the next, like, when you will be 40 years of age, there will be so many old people in Korea, elderly people, so that you won't even have an opportunity to talk to a single Korean girl, to a single young Korean girl. So I mean, just learn freaking English and move to the US or to Canada or to England. There will be so many beautiful girls there. So have a good one.